Hey guys, it's Yuta. So, can you distinguish Japanese people from other Asian people in other countries? As a Japanese person, I sometimes instantly know when I see Japanese people in other countries. And often I don't even have to see their faces. Sometimes I look at them from behind, from a distance, and instantly know that they're Japanese. And the other day I asked myself a question. Why is it so easy? And I realized that there are several characteristics that many Japanese people have in common. So I want to talk about them in this video. First, fashion, which is one of the most obvious things. If somebody is wearing a type of clothes that are popular in Japan, but not necessarily in other countries, there's a good chance that they are Japanese. And if you see these Japanese people, I think you will notice some trends. With women, they tend to wear fluffy kinds of clothes that don't emphasize their body shapes. And they like layering clothes. And in comparison, if you look at Asian American women, they tend to have much simpler styles. So if a Japanese woman have that kind of simple style, it's going to be harder to tell that she is Japanese. And with Japanese men, they also like wearing loose tops that don't fit tightly, and they may also layer clothes. Actually, with my example, instead of this, if I wear this, I think I look more Japanese, at least for me. And you can see this t-shirt is a bit loose and it doesn't fit tightly. But my background is also white, so let me go back to the other t-shirt. And there's another thing I noticed among Japanese men and actually other East Asian men, which is they tend to wear this kind of bag. Which, by the way, I don't quite understand because I don't find them cool. But those bags seem popular. And I very much doubt that most Asian men who grew up in the West would wear those kinds of bags. So this could be a way to tell if somebody is an Asian man from Asia or an Asian man who grew up elsewhere. So let me know what you guys think. And I can also talk about things that Japanese people don't wear very often. And one of those things is leggings. Because as far as I remember, leggings aren't popular as everyday casual fashion among Japanese women. Of course, they might wear them when they practice yoga or something, but when they go shopping, I don't think it's gonna be their first choice. And I noticed this when I went to some Southeast Asian countries and saw a lot of women wearing leggings. And it was quite interesting to learn about different fashion styles in other countries. But fashion is just one of many things. There's also the body types. And body types are especially useful when you want to distinguish Japanese people from Korean people. Because statistically, our average body types are quite different. And I happen to have a pretty average body type for a Japanese man. And if you see other Japanese men in my videos, you can see we pretty much have the same body type. But if you look at Korean men, not only are they statistically taller, they tend to be less slim. And I'm not talking about Korean celebrities and K-pop stars because they tend to be on the slim side. But if you look at everyday average-ish Korean men, this kind of body type is pretty common. And when I see East Asian men who have this kind of body type abroad, they are almost always Koreans. So if you guess our nationalities solely based on our body type, you are correct more than 50% of the time. But on the other hand, not everybody has an average body type. So if a Korean guy has an average Japanese-ish body type and wear Japanese clothes and get a Japanese haircut, it's probably going to be pretty hard to tell that he's Korean. And I've known such examples. But since I mentioned hairstyles, let me talk about hairstyles. And there are certain hairstyles that are popular in Japan. So if you see East Asian people who have these kinds of hairstyles, there's a good chance that they are Japanese. With women, you see these hairstyles quite often in Japan. And with men, you see these hairstyles. And also, there's some hairstyles that seem pretty popular in South Korea, but not so much in Japan. And when I see these hairstyles, they are very often Korean people. And I think you can already find Japanese people in your countries with those characteristics. And if you do, maybe you can talk to them. But if you want to talk to them, it's better if you speak Japanese because most Japanese people only speak Japanese. So if you want to learn Japanese with me, I will teach you the kind of Japanese that actual Japanese people speak, which can be quite different from the kind of Japanese that textbooks teach you. So click the link and subscribe. And by the way, in this video, I'm not focusing on our facial features, but what I'm going to talk about is makeup, because each culture has its own makeup style, including whether you wear makeup or not. Because in some other countries, I met many women who are used to not wearing makeup at all in their daily life. But in Japan, it's going to be more challenging to find women who don't wear any makeup at all when they go out. And some Japanese women told me personally that they would feel uncomfortable if they go out without wearing any makeup. And it also seems like in Japan, and especially in Tokyo, women tend to wear a lot of makeup. But it also depends on the trend, so this can be different each year. But many Japanese people, but not all of them, think that it's appropriate for women to wear makeup when they go to work. But some people also argue that this shouldn't be the case. But anyway, Japanese women have their own makeup style. But unfortunately, I don't have that kind of vocabulary to describe different makeup styles. But I noticed that there are certain ways that Japanese women paint their cheeks. And sometimes they use pretty prominent colors. And also fake eyelashes seem to be popular because many Japanese women want to make their eyes look bigger. And some of them have pretty solid skills to achieve that. And again, Korean women seem to have different preferences when it comes to makeup. And the funny thing is, some Japanese girls, especially young ones, they are into Korean culture and they want to apply a Korean style makeup. So you can find some tutorials in Japanese to achieve Korean looks. And some other women want to look mixed race or Western. And you can also find tutorials for how to apply more Western style makeup. So there's a lot of things going on with makeup. Now, let's move on to some more subtle things. And first, I'm going to talk about posture. And I observed there are certain types of posture that can be associated with Japanese people. Well, I don't think we should be proud of this, but I noticed that many Japanese people basically have bad posture. So something like round shoulders like this. And I actually used to have very bad posture and I would hate to see myself in photos. So now I try to be more careful. So I hope I look fine with this posture. And also, there's some ways of walking that can be associated with Japanese people. Many of them kind of tend to lean forward, look down a little bit, and they don't fully use their legs. And I think this is more obvious when they walk slowly. And obviously, not all Japanese people walk this way, but I think you can find many people who do. And some people argue that this is because we used to wear Japanese clothes, which make you walk a bit differently compared to when you wear Western clothes. But I'm not sure if this is true or not. But this also means if you look straight ahead or slightly look up, have good posture, and walk briskly as though you would burst into singing at any moment, you're gonna look less Japanese. And I think Cube would agree with me. And many Japanese people report that people look very energetic when they go to other countries. And I think part of the reason is the way people walk. I have some footage of people walking in Indonesia, so I'm gonna show it to you. And I also have some footage in Mexico. So if you notice any differences, please let me know in the comments section. But in short, if you see Asian people in your country and they have those characteristics, maybe they are Japanese. And that's why Japanese tourists are often very easy to identify, because they bring Japanese clothes, Japanese hairstyles, and Japanese makeup. And they are often in a group. And if everybody in the group has those characteristics, they are probably Japanese. But when they start living in a foreign country, buy clothes locally and get their haircut locally, they're going to look less Japanese. And they might blend in very well. And I've met some Japanese people abroad who I didn't think were Japanese initially. And it's always interesting to meet Japanese people who totally blend in with local people. But if you want to come to Japan, live in Japan and blend in, you should be able to speak Japanese. So if you want to learn Japanese with me, I will teach you the kind of Japanese that Japanese people actually speak. Because the kind of Japanese that textbooks teach you can be unnatural and outdated. So click the link and subscribe to my email group, Japanese with Yuta. Alright, see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.